Hello everyone. Today let us study about the topic pest of cereal crops under the main subject agrochemical and pest control. Cereal crop or grain crops are an important food source in many parts of the world. The three most common types of cereal crops are rice, wheat and corn. The term cereal comes from Ceres, the Roman god of agriculture. As this name suggests, cereals are a vital part of the farming and agriculture industries in many countries. Cereal crops are classified as staple foods, which means that they are a significant part of the human diet and are regularly eaten for their high energy content. Several aphid species are common pests of cereal crops. By sucking sap, aphids can stunt and distort plant growth, but they cause most damage as transmitters of barley yellow dwarf virus and cereal yellow dwarf virus. Farmers also need to ensure that they balance pests and diseases prevention and treatment methods against damage to the environment. Hence, in this episode, the following aspects are going to be seen: rice pests, sorghum insect pest, maize pests, pearl millet pest, and finally wheat pest. Let us study about these aspects one by one. The first aspect, rice pest. Rice, an annual grass, belongs to the family Graminae, the genus Oryza, which includes 20 wild species and 2 cultivated species, Oryza sativa, that is Asian rice, and Oryza glaberrima, that is African rice. Oryza sativa is the most commonly grown species throughout the world today. Let us study about the plant damage caused by rice insects. Insect pests attack all portions of the rice plant and all stages of plant growth. Feeding guilds consist of the root feeders, stem borers, leaf hoppers and plant hoppers, defoliators and grain sucking insects. Insects also attack rice grains in storage. Let us study about the different insect pests of rice. The first pest, that is root feeders. Examples of root feeders are termites of the order Isoptera and the rice water weevil, that is Lyssorhopterus, Oryzophilus of the order Coleoptera. Termites in West African upland rice fields occur in patches and often kill the plants, especially when rainfall is lacking. The water weevil is a major insect pest of irrigated rice in the United States of America. The adult water weevil feeds on the leaves and causes little damage, while the larvae feed on the roots and severely reduce the root system. Plants with reduced root systems grow poorly and have low yields. The next pest is stem borers. Stem borers consist primarily of insects in the Lepidopterus families, Noctuidae and Pyralidae. The adult moths lay eggs on the rice leaves and the larvae bore into the stem. Feeding in the stem during the vegetative growth stage of the plant causes death of the central shoot, which is called as dead heart. Damaged shoots do not produce a panicle and thus produce no grain. Feeding of stem borers during the reproductive stage causes a severing of the developing panicle at its base. As a result, the panicle is unfilled and whitish in color rather than filled with grain and brownish in color. Such empty panicles are called whiteheads. In the southern United States of America, the sugarcane borer, that is Diatrais saccharalis, and the rice stalk borer, that is Chylo pligadalis, are common stem borers attacking rice. The next important pest of rice is leaf hoppers and plant hoppers. In general, the leaf hoppers belongs to the family Cycadelidae, attack all aerial parts of the plant, whereas the plant hoppers belonging to the family Delphasidae attack the basal portions. The leaf hoppers and plant hoppers are sucking insects which remove plant sap from the xylem and phloem tissues of the plant. Severely damaged plants dry and take on the brownish appearance of the plants that have been damaged by fire. Hence, hopper damage is called hopper burn. These insects are severe pests in Asia, where they not only cause direct damage by removing the plant sap, but are also vectors of serious rice virus diseases such as rice tungrovirus transmitted by the green leaf hopper Nephtotoxis virescens and grassy stunt virus transmitted by the brown plant hopper Neelaparvata lugens. The next important insect is grain sucking insects. The stink bugs belong to the order Hemiptera, known for the foul odor produced by the scent glands on their abdomen. They penetrate the developing grain with their sucking mouth parts and remove the white fluid referred to as milk. They damage early in the development of the grain, prevents the filling of the grain. Later attack results in pecky rice, which is referred to as the condition of the grain after being sucked by stink bugs and the grain being subsequently stained by the bacteria or fungi which enter the puncture wounds. In some countries, the market price of pecky rice is reduced. Moving on to the next aspect, that is sorghum insect pest. Sorghum is a genus of grasses with about 30 species, one of which is raised for grain and many of which are used as fodder plants, either cultivated or as passed off pasture. Sorghum is susceptible to insect pest from emergence to late grain fill. Early sorghum pests include armyworms and soil insects. These pests are normally present in a grain sorghum crop in low numbers where the damage can be tolerated. However, seasonal conditions can sometimes stimulate the buildup of a large population of one or more of these, and they can cause significant damage. Pests such as aphids and Ruthelgen bugs can be deterred by choosing open-headed type sorghum hybrids. These insects have a preference for compact or closed panicle types on which they are hard to control due to the difficulty of achieving spray penetration. Let us study about some of the important sorghum pests. The first pest, that is sorghum shoot fly. Scientific term is Etheregona socata. The damage occurs 1 to 4 weeks after seedling emergence. The damaged plants produce side tillers which may also be attacked. The shoot fly's entire life cycle is completed in 17 to 21 days. In India, shoot fly populations begin to increase in July, peak in August to September, and then decline. Infestations are especially high when sorghum planting is staggered due to erratic rainfall. Infestation is normally high in the post-rainy season crop, which is sown in September to October. Temperatures above 35 degrees centigrade and below 18 degrees centigrade reduce shoot fly survival. The next pest is stem borer or Chylopatylus swinehoe. Subsequently, the larvae bore into the stem, resulting in extensive tunneling. The larvae also attack ear heads. Tunneling of ear heads result either in its breakage or complete or partial chaffy ear heads, affecting grain development. The next pest is aphids. Trophaloscyphum maid's finch is its scientific name. Females give birth to living young without mating, and a generation can be completed in about a week. The insect is active throughout the winter. These aphids generally infest the whorl of sorghum plants. Their densities often decline as the plants enter the boot and heading stage. Panicles may become heavily infested with corn leaf aphids while the grain is immature. Aphids also secrete a sugary solution called honeydew. A black fungus called sooty mold can grow on the honeydew. The fungus does not directly harm the plant but blocks sunlight from contaminated leaves and can discolor developing seeds. Large infestations can stunt and kill leaves and the whole plants. The next pest is grain or earhead midge. The scientific term is Contarinea sorgicola. The sorghum midge is one of the most damaging insects to sorghum. The adult is a tiny, fragile looking reddish orange fly of about 1 by 16 inch long. Larvae are colorless at first but dark orange when fully grown. Larvae developing inside sorghum flowers prevent seed formation, often resulting in low grain yields. The next pest is webworm with the scientific name Cryptoblabbus nidella. Larva remains near the axis of inflorescence initially, scraping the leaf later on and feeds on milky and hard grain. The larva web together adjacent grain with the help of silken threads. The whole ear head is completely webbed with excreta and silken thread. The next pest is semi-looper with the scientific name Eublemma silicula swinehoe. Eublemma larvae fed on maturing grains and concealed themselves under a small dome-shaped or elongated gallery made of anthers and silk. The quality of damaged grains deteriorated when exposed to rain. Populations of larvae varied from 2 to 6% year head. A varietal influence was observed on the incidence. Late August to early September was the most active period for the pest. Moving on to the third aspect, that is maize pest. The maize is grown in a wide range of environments extending from extreme semi-arid to subhumid and humid regions of India. Maize is considered a promising option for diversifying agriculture in upland areas of India. It now ranks as the third most important food grain crop in India. The important pests of maize are cob borer, that is Stenacro elongella. The cob borer moths emerge during the third week of June and the egg laying starts 2 days after exclusion at cob initiation stage and continues up to 80 days. The adult female lays 70 to 80 eggs singly on the base of the cobs between 2 cob sheets. The eggs are small cream color and hatch in 5 to 8 days. The newly emerged larvae puncture the cobs and excrement on the cob is the clear symptom of the damage by the cob borer. The presence of 3 to 5 larvae per cob is sufficient to damage the cob completely. Total life cycle of the pest is 45 days. There are 4 larvae instars over a period of 28 to 30 days. Pupation occurs within the cob or between the cob sheath and pupal period ranges from 6 to 8 days. Adult male lives for 8 to 10 days and female lives for 10 to 15 days. There are 3 to 4 overlapping generations from July to the end of September. The late sown crop suffers heavily compared to the early sown crop. Larval excrement material and webbing is clearly seen on damaged cobs. The pest damages the cobs up to 34.2%. The next pest is stem borer, that is Chilopartellus. Newly hatched larvae scrap the central leaves of the whorl and soon tunnel into the stem through the whorl. The new emerging leaves of the whorl show small pinholes known as short hole injury. Grown up larvae produce bigger holes in the whorl leaves. The severe attack results in drying of central whorl of the plant, which is called dead heart. The plants showing dead hearts do not show usual leaf injury symptoms. They remain stunted in growth and no flowering takes place. The larvae also damage the emerging tassels, silk and developing grains on the cobs and pupate inside the stem. This is the most serious pest of maize and causes up to 70 to 75% damage. The next pest is armyworm with the scientific name Methymna separata. The full grown caterpillar is stout, 4 cm long and dusky brown in color with pale or brown longitudinal stripes. The dorsolateral stripes being broken into spots. The outbreak of this pest occurs suddenly and farmers generally notice it after it has already caused considerable damage. The caterpillars generally feed at night and hide in the whorls of plants during the day. The caterpillars march from field to field and voraciously feed on foliage. They appear after the heavy rains or early floods. The next important pest is aphids, that is Rhophalocipher maedis. Both Aeterus and Pterus aphids infest the upper half of the plant. Generally, this insect is very active during the Rabi season. Long dry spells increase the incidence of this insect. Nymphs and adults suck the sap from the leaves or shoots and exude honeydew on which a sooty mold grows, giving the leaves a black appearance and thus affect the photosynthesis very badly. The next important pest is termites, that is Microtermus obesi. Termites are polyphagous pests. The worker's caste is the damaging stage. This pest feed on roots of maize, causing severe damage and leads to yellowing of plants. The next important aspect is pearl millet pest. Pearl millet, that is Penicitum glaucum, also known as bulrush or cat-tail millet, is an important grain of forage crop in Africa and South Asia and a forage crop in the America. The important pests of pearl millet are cinch bug. Cinch bug is the main insect pest of grain millet and control is vital to a successful crop. They are a particular problem in hot, dry weather and in fields with a heavy infestation of either crabgrass or Texas panicum. Cinch bugs can damage pearl millet any time from the seedling stage to the soft dough stage. Damaged plants can have a drought stressed appearance and generalized death of lower leaves. Early infestations can cause severe stand loss. Heavy infestations can also wither and kill plants from before flowering through grain filling. Identifying a problem early will prevent losses. Cinch bugs have different stages that differ in color, size and appearance. They can be difficult to spot. Look for cinch bugs at the lower stems between the stem and leaves. If disturbed by slapping the base of the plants, cinch bugs are often dislodged and can often be seen on the ground around the base of the plants. The next pest of pearl millet is stink bugs and other insects. Stink bugs and other insects may require control on developing grain heads. These insects are most active when pearl millet is planted from July 1st to August 1st. Stink bug feeding causes small and shriveled seed. Corn earworms, webworms, and fall army worms can also destroy and damage seed. Economic yield loss may occur when 15% or more of the grain heads are infested. These insects are best controlled by a single insecticide application at 50% pollen shed. Consult your county extension agent for currently labeled insecticides and rates. The fifth aspect is wheat pests. Wheat is the name given to several plants in the genus Triticum, which includes Triticum aestivum, Triticum compactum, Triticum spelta, and Triticum durum, which are annual or biennial grasses grown primarily for their grain. The important pests of wheat are: the first pest, that is green bugs. Green bugs, like other aphids, are attacked by a variety of predators and parasites. These include the parasitic wasps, several species of lady beetles, lacewings, and damsel bugs. The next pest is parasitic wasps. Lyciflibus, Testacepus, Diartiella rape, and Ephelinus varipus are tiny black wasps which parasitize green bugs wherever this pest is found. Although the adult wasps are not commonly seen, wheat producers should be able to recognize the distinctive parasitized green bug mummy which remains attached to the wheat leaf. Green bug mummies parasitized by Lyciflibus, Testacepus, and Diartiella rape are big or tan and are round and swollen. Green bug mummies killed by Ephelinus varipus are black and similar in size and shape to live green bugs. The next pest is lady beetles. Several species of lady beetles can be found in Texas wheat, including the convergent lady beetle Hypodamia convergens, the 7-spotted lady beetle or C7 beetle, that is Coccinella septempuncta, and the much smaller species Cymnus lovae. As a group, lady beetles provide some control of aphids in small grains every season, but since lady beetles consume the aphids, they leave no evidence of their control. Sometimes the only indication is the lack of significant aphid problems later in the year. No one lady beetle species can completely reduce an aphid population, and research has shown that augmentation by releasing lady beetles is of very little benefit. The next pest is lacewings. Green lacewings are found in many crops including wheat. However, there is little information on the importance of lacewings in the biological control of green bugs. The larval stages of all lacewings are predators which feed primarily on aphids but also on insect eggs and small caterpillars. The adults of some lacewing species such as Chrysoperla carnea feed only on honeydew or pollen. Lacewing larvae are not common in wheat but complement other predators. The number of lacewing adults usually peaks in April and May in wheat fields. The brown lacewing also occurs in wheat. The next important pest of wheat is armyworms. The true armyworm and the fall armyworms are parasitized by several species of wasps and flies. However, these natural enemies are apparently less effective during cool rainy weather, and armyworm moths can fly long distances and escape them. Finally, to conclude with today's topic, check crops regularly for pest and beneficial insects and to get accurate identification of insects and mites in crops. Most insects are not pests and there are many beneficial often present in crops that help keep a range of pests under control as well as performing other ecosystem services such as pollination and nutrient cycling. Thank you.